Good day. So now we will continue our topic regarding the revenue cycle. So from our last video, we discussed the revenue cycle, the flow chart for processing sales, the the cycle that we have to understand the people, the process, and the documents so that makita natin yung mga evidence na kailangan natin tingnan um in order for us to provide an opinion. So now let's go to the assertions. So under revenue cycle, we have assertions. First is the existence and the completeness. Again, revisiting the definition of audit, it is a systematic process of objectively obtaining and evaluating evidence regarding assertions. So dito, kino-compare natin yung ating mga assertions and criteria sa evidence na nagather natin. So the first assertion that we have is the existence. How do we test existence or occurrence? Pag sinabing existence or occurrence or other term nito is validity. Recorded sales are for shipment actually made to customers. So, tinetest natin yung existence ng isang transaction through or mag-start tayo from accounting records kasi sabi dito from the recorded sales or if the recorded transaction or if the recorded sales actually exist. Kung nag-exist ba talaga siya? Kung lahat ba ng na-record ay nag-i-exist ba talaga. Again, for us to be able to test this existence na assertion, balik tayo sa ating mga evidences that we have obtained from the revenue cycle. So, again, from the sales department, we have the sales order, we have the shipping documents for the shipping department, we have the sales invoice from the billing, and the accounting records from the accounting department. Since test of existence is if recorded transactions actually exist, so ang unang titingnan natin dito is yung records or yung ating accounting records. So that is from accounting department. So, para ma-test natin kung totoo ba 'tong ni-record na 'to, kung totoo ba yung record na nagkaroon tayo ng sales. So, from here, we'll start the test from the accounting records down to our supporting documents. So, this one is the accounting reports, accounting records, and these three are the supporting documents. Ang mangyayari sa test natin ngayon is backwards. So, ang tawag dito, yung audit term, yung accounting term natin dito is, backwards. Because we will start from accounting records, pabalik to our supporting documents. So, ang tawag natin dito is vouching. Backwards or vouching. So again, magsa-start yung ating test from our records to our supporting documents. Itong na-record ba natin? Totoo ba to? So para malaman natin kung totoo yung record, naka-record, titingnan natin ngayon kung meron bang sales invoice, kung meron bang shipping documents, kung na-ship ba talaga, and kung in-approve ba ito ng credit department or ng authorized personnel to approve the credit. So kapag, again, 'di ba balik tayo sa ating discussion from our last video na hindi puwedeng mag-record si accounting department kapag wala itong tatlong documents na ito. So gano'n siya. Since we started our test from the accounting records, so malalaman natin dito kung overstated ba yung ating account. So, nag-start tayo from our records, masasabi natin, baka overstated yung ating accounts receivable or yung ating sales. So, next assertion that we have is the completeness. How do we test completeness in our records? So, kapag sinabing completeness, all transactions that occurred are recorded. So, paano natin i-test? If yung transaction ba daw na mga nag-occur sa ating cycle is na-record ba? So, paano natin matitest kung na-record ba lahat ng mga pangyayari? So, going back to our evidence, ito lang naman ang meron tayo. So, dito tayo titingin. So, from our supporting documents, again, we have sales order, we have the shipping documents, we have the sales invoice, and our accounting records from the accounting department. So, dito sa test of completeness, ang gagawin nating test dito is natawag nating forward or tracing. Kung kanina yung tawag natin is backwards or vouching, ngayon naman, tawag dito is forward or tracing. Ibig sabihin, magsisimula yung ating test from our supporting documents down to our accounting records. So, if may nagamit tayo na sales order, na-signed siya and approved by the credit department, nagkaroon tayo ng shipping document, ibig sabihin, proof of delivery, and kapag meron tayong sales invoice, nakapag-bill tayo sa ating customer. So, ito bang lahat na nangyaring ito ay nai-record ba natin? So, dito natin malalaman kung kumpleto ba, na kumpleto ba yung ating cycle o yung process natin. So, ang pwede natin gawin dito is tracing. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating audit na ginawa sa ating assertions under revenue cycle is directional. Kanina, under test of existence or occurrence, pa-backwards. Ngayon naman sa test of completeness is forward or tracing. So another thing that you have to take note when you do test of completeness is that since magsisimula tayo sa ating supporting documents, yung ating mga sales orders, shipping documents, and sales invoice, these are pre-numbered. Ibig sabihin ng pre-numbered, merong number. Wow. So, yung sinasabing pre-numbered na kung mapapansin niyo sa mga resibo, may nakalagay do'n receipt number 1, number 2. So, kapag dito sa test of completeness, dapat na-check niyo 'yan randomly, 'no, kung okay ba, kung na-fill up ba lahat ng series of numbers ng ating supporting documents para malaman natin kung kumpleto ba, 'no, yung paggamit ng ating mga documents. Okay, now let's go to the next cycle that we have after the revenue cycle is we have the collection cycle. So since yung ating revenue cycle more on credit sales yung ating napag-usapan doon, syempre kung utang, talagang mangongolekta tayo. Kaya meron tayong collection cycle. Again, we have the same things to check for us to understand the system that the company has. First is the people. Sino yung tao dito sa collection cycle? Siyempre, sila yung mga collectors or yung mga tinatawag na receptionist. So, para sa ating first na person under our audit is the receptionist. So, pag sinabing receptionist, ito yung tinatawag na mailroom person. Sila yung tumatanggap ng mail or siyempre yung nandun sa mail or sa envelope na yun is yung bayad. Ano yung process meron dito? Ang process na meron dito is i-receive niya yung collection. So, dito, receipt of collection. Now, anong documents ang involved dito sa ating collection or sa ating receptionist? So, dito yung tinatawag natin na remittance advice. Remittance advice. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng remittance advice? Remittance advice is a document that a customer attaches to a check in payment of an invoice. Now, aside from the remittance advice that is attached or that is in the or inside the envelope, of course, yung bayad niya, check. Again, the two documents that we have here, guys, check, check yun yung bayad niya. Remittance advice, dito nakalagay kung ano ba yung binayaran niya, anong babayaran ni customer. The receptionist should be at least 2 person. Kasi nga kung isang tao lang yung magre-receive ng payment, baka naman sa ang bulsa mapupunta yun kung walang ibang matang nakatingin. So, dapat at least 2 tao. Next is the accounting department. After ma-receive yung ating payment, is diretso na siya sa ating department. Again, ito yung mga bookkeeper. Sila yung magsusulat magre-record ng transaction. I-record nila ngayon yung payment. How do we record a collection? E-debit cash, or if it is check, cash in bank, e-credit accounts, receivable for that certain. But again, before doing this entry, dapat merong remittance advice. Kasi nga, hindi lang naman sa journal niya i-record. Titingnan niya din yung ledger ng customer na yun at i-record doon para mabawa sa balanse niya. So again, without remittance advice, no entry shall be done. So before we proceed to the next department after the accounting department is ito pala sa ating receptionist, no? Dapat yung remittance advice should be in 2 copies. Remittance minimum of 2 copies. Yan, copies. Yung isang copy, again, 2 copies, ano? Yung isang copy nun, mapupunta kay accounting department. Since yung kailangan lang naman niya is yung remittance advice, so dapat may copy talaga siya ng remittance advice. And the remaining remittance advice will be forwarded to our Treasury Department. So, ano ang mapupunta kay Treasury Department? Isang RA, and of course, yung ating cheque. Sino ang nasa Treasury Department? Sino ang tao dito? So, ito ay si treasurer or yung cashier. Babalikan natin ang ating duties to be segregated, yung ating CAR. Babalik tayo sa ating CAR. C stands for custody. So, ito na yung custody. The Treasury Department. Authorization, nandoon kanina sa ating revenue cycle under kay Credit Department. And yung recording nasa Accounting Department. So, ganun siya. Again, sa Treasury Department, yung tao dito is yung cashier or treasurer. Anong ginagawa niya dito? Syempre, since siya yung custodian, so, ide-deposit niya ngayon yung cheque na na-received from the receptionist. Again, dapat merong isang RA or remittance advice and the check. At the end of the day, the check must be deposited. If not on the end of the day, so the next business day. So, kapag nai-deposit na yung ating cheque, the evidence of deposit should be present or the deposit slip. Again ha, to fully complete the cycle on the Treasury Department, dapat merong evidence of deposit or yung tinatawag natin na deposit slip. Before tayo mag-proceed sa ating cases under collection cycle, andito muna tayo kay cashier and kay treasurer. So, for small businesses, isang tao lang ito. Pero for medyo malalaki na, yung cashier, siya yung may custody ng cash, with pera. Ito naman treasurer, ito yung management authority. So, ano ba yung trabaho nila? Yun yung kay cashier or kung sino man sa kanila yung magde-deposit. Si treasurer, since siya yung nasa management or siya yung merong authorization or merong authority, siya ngayon yung magbibigay ng approval or credit memo or yung bigay ng credit memo. For example, merong mga sales return. So, before yun mai-record ng accounting department, dapat dumaan muna yan sa management. So, kapag nagsabi si management or may approval ng management or any independent person na magsasabi na i-approve niya yung return na yun, so tsaka pa siya i-record ni accounting department. Just like the revenue cycle, in a revenue cycle, we have assertions tested using the evidence that we have. The same with the collection cycle, we have cases na nangyayari talaga since involve yung pera dito. So, meron tayong tinatawag na lapping. I know the usual word in accounting, familiar ito sa inyo, first year. So, again, the definition of lapping, it occurs when an employee alters account receivable records in order to hide the theft of cash. So, paano ito mangyayari? Again, kapag ang employee daw inalter, ibig sabihin ng inalter, pinalitan yung account receivable records para maitago yung pagnanakaw ng pera. So, paano ba maitatago yung pagnanakaw ng pera? So, it could be pagka-receive ng pera, hindi dineposit, ginamit na muna, yun, hindi nila in-record para hindi malaman na naka-receive sila ng ganong pera for that day. Now, the question is, paano natin madedetect itong lapping na tinatawag? Paano natin makikita, malalaman kung nagkaroon ba ng lapping o nagkaroon ba ng hindi pag-record kasi nga nagnakaw ng pera? So, to detect lapping, using the evidence that we have, so magkakaroon lang tayo ng pagka-compare date. So, compare natin yung date ng remittance advice versus the deposit date. So, again, itong date of remittance advice, ito yung time na hinatid yung payment or nagkaroon tayo ng collection. And yung deposit slip naman, ito yung ating evidence of deposit. So, i-check natin kung nai-deposit ba within the day, or if not possible, if nagbayad ng malapit ng mag mag-close yung office, dapat the next day or next business day na i-deposit para maiwasan natin yung mag-isip na baka ginamit yung pera or ano. So, para ma-detect ang lapping, compare natin yung ating date of remittance advice versus the date of the deposit slip. So, kung meron tayong way to detect, meron din naman tayong way to prevent, no? Again, prevention is better than cure. Kasi, pangit naman kung wala kang measures for this. So, hindi magte-take advantage yung tao dun. Wala namang control. So, baka pwede kong gawin. So, dapat meron tayong preventive measures. So, to prevent lapping, no, dito is dapat magkaroon ng direct deposit of customer to the, ganun no, dapat prevent lapping. Diretso na lang dapat si customer mag-deposit sa bank para hindi na dumaan sa kung kaninong mga kamay. So kapag nai-deposit na, syempre dadalhin naman lang yung evidence of deposit, yung deposit slip, dadalhin doon sa company, ibibigay doon sa receptionist para ma-record ngayon ng accounting department. Remittance advice as well as the deposit slip. O, di ba? Maiiwasan natin yung lapping or yung pagnanakaw ng pera. Yung sa to detect, trabaho yun ng auditor. Ito namang sa to prevent, syempre, it is on the part of the management. So, ang other term dito sa direct deposit of customer to bank is the lock box. Lock box. Again, no, balik tayo sa lapping. So, ang mangyayari dito sa lapping kasi masyadong baka medyo hindi klaro sa inyo yung ibig sabihin ng lapping. Ano yung nangyayari dito sa lapping? Nagkakaroon kayo ng idea ngayon. Ha? So, sa lapping, for example, naka-receive ng collection from customer A na 10,000. Yung 10,000 ngayon, ikikip yun ng cashier sa kanya. Baka meron siyang paggagamitan. So, ibig sabihin, hindi niya yung muna i-record yung na-receive niyang pera. Ngayon, let's say, meron na namang isang customer, si customer B, magbabayad na naman siya. Magbabayad siya, for example, ng 20,000. So, yung 20,000, hindi niya yung diretso i-record kay customer B. Since kinuha niya tong 10,000 for his or her personal, ginamit niya or ninakaw niya, yung 10,000 muna dito na binayad ni B, yun yung i-record niya ngayon kay customer A. Ibig sabihin, kulang ng 10,000 itong kay B. Ngayon, maghihintay na naman siya ng isang customer na magbayad, doon na naman niya i-record, tapos maghihintay na naman siya ng next na customer na nagbabayad. So, yun yung mga mangyayari sa buong buwan na hindi nag-audit yung company. So, kung makikita nyo, yung unang binayad, itinago. Yung sumunod na bayad, pinantapal doon sa nauna. Tapos, maghihintay ulit ng ibang customer na magbabayad. Itatapal na naman doon sa customer B, and so on. So, hindi pwedeng magpahinga kasi baka makita yung lapping na ginawa. So, kanina sa lapping, yung to prevent, isa lang yun sa mga preventive measures na pwede gawin ni management para ma-prevent yung tinatawag nating lapping. let's proceed. Yun kanina sa cash naman yun, 'no. Ngayon naman dito tayo sa part ng nag-o-authorize or ng treasurer. So, again, possible din dito yung fraud na tinatawag. Again, yung error, unintentional. Yung fraud, intentional. Ginusto, gustong gawin yung mga pagkakamali. So, first fraud na meron dito sa ating collection cycle is yung write-off. Ano bang meron dito sa write-off? So, 'di ba kapag nag-write-off tayo ng accounts receivable, magi sabihin yung write-off, 'no, tatanggalin na natin yung account receivable kasi nga um hindi na ine-expect ng business na hindi na mako-collect yung receivable na yon. So, magiging entry natin dito is a debit to allowance for doubtful accounts or the AFDA and a credit to accounts receivable for a certain amount. So, the question is, ano yung kailangan gawin ng auditor para ma-detect kung nagkaroon ba ng fraud dito sa write-off? Since evidence lang meron tayo, the supporting documents, ngayon para malaman natin kung nagkaroon ng fraud sa write-off, the auditor is hahanapin niya yung write-off authorization. So, meron tayong write-off authorization. Kanino yan galing? Sabi ko kanina, pwedeng galing kay treasurer or any independent person na may authority to give write-off authorization. So, bago yan dapat mai-record, dapat merong authorization. Kasi naman, baka naka-receive ng pera. Tapos, sinabi lang na write-off para after yung debit, hindi cash. Pwede na din yun. Makakapagnakaw ka na ng pera nun. So, the next fraud that we have is the return. So, ano bang entry natin for the return? We have a debit to sales return. Since sales is credit, so debit natin sales return. Credit natin ulit yung AR. Paano natin malalaman kung may return ba talaga? Baka naman sales return lang yung sinabi, pero naka-receive pala ng cash. O, ninakaw ulit yung cash. So, para malaman kung walang fraud dito sa return na ito, gagawin mo ngayon yung tinatawag na walk-through test. Hindi pwedeng nandyan ka lang at mag-aakusa. Dapat pupunta ka dun sa warehouse mismo and hanapin mo yung actual inventory. Nandun ba talaga? Sinauli ba talaga? And aside from the actual return of inventory is yung tinatawag nating credit memo. Credit memo is a document, ito siya. No, kapag sinabing credit memo, it is a pre-numbered document indicating a reduction in the amount due from a customer because of returned goods or an allowance granted. So, dapat merong dokumento na magpapatunay na yan yung inventory isinauli. So, kapag pumunta ka doon tapos wala naman palang inventory doon na nasa uli, ibig sabihin, alam na this. Naka-receive ng pera pero ginawang sales return. So, nagkaroon ng tawag doon, nagkaroon ng so again, 'no, kapag nagkaroon ng ganoong record, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng sabwatan or collusion between sa nag-i-issue ng credit memo and doon sa nagre-record as well as doon sa tatanggap sana ng return. So, collusion yung tawag doon. The next fraud na pwedeng mangyari dito sa ating collection cycle is yung tinatawag natin na skimming. Ano ibig sabihin ng skimming? Under PSA 240, sabi dito, it is the most difficult fraud to detect since skimming is having no record. No record at all. May transaction na nangyari, walang nai-record. So, ano yung i-check mo doon? Since wala ngang record. So, napakahirap mag-check kung wala ka namang i-check. So, ganun siya. For example, sa ating revenue cycle, nagkaroon ng transaction, say, nagkaroon ng sales on account. Debit AR, credit sales, tapos, let's say, nagbayad. Debit cash, credit AR, so ito dapat yung mga entry na present. Ngayon, under skimming, wala ito. So, ginawa. So, paano malalaman ngayon? So, one way to detect skimming is that meron tayong tinatawag na element of surprise. Surprise! So, again, mag-i-infuse tayo ng element of surprise. Paano ba natin malalaman kung nagkaroon ng sa company? So, for example, para ma-sure natin, for example, yung in-audit natin is yung cashier. Paano natin malalaman kung lahat ba ng ni-record niya o lahat ba ng transaction na nangyari is na-record niya or kung meron ba siyang mga natanggap na cash na hindi niya ini-record. So, makikipag-usap kayo ngayon sa management. Pwede ka bang magkaroon ng ng surprise audit just to make sure na walang skimming na nagaganap. Kasi nga, you don't have any way of knowing kasi nga wala namang record tayo na i-check. So, minsan, pag-try kami na magkaroon ng price audit. So, okay naman, wala namang nangyayaring scheme. Pero, for some companies, meron talagang mga empleyado na kumawari kung ano. Siguro, na, kailangan talaga nila ng pera. So, kaya naggaganap nangyayari talaga yung tinatawag na skimming. Again malalaman natin kung error ba talaga or fraud na yung nangyayari. Ang error is unintentional, hindi sinasadya, baka na-typo lang, baka nakalimutan lang. Or kung fraud, intentional. Intention niyang kalimutan yung na-receive niyang cash. Intention niyang hindi i-record. Ganon. So, doon na nagtatapos yung ating discussion regarding assertions under the revenue cycle and the collection cycle. I hope meron kayong natutunan and masagutan nyo yung ating mga case problems. God bless.